All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. All right, so I think I can show you one video on here. Let's see if my computer will allow me to show it without shutting the video down. But this one looked really good. This was actually a better one. Now, again, these videos were thrown online. I do not know how recent they are. I don't know if this happened a while ago. I don't know if these are new, but they're claiming to be new. So give me a break. Flown Grown, Laura, thank you to 5x5. Let's go. Evolving, William, Rhonda, thank you to 5x5. Kathy, Groundhog, Elaine, Raccoon, Bitebug, Dobie, Cherokee, thank you to 5x5. Adam, Mitch, F you all, Ectate, Mary, Strawberry, Eric, Raven, Colt, thank you for the 5x5. Maria Jackson, thank you for the 5x5. No. Appreciate it. And for the doggies, Carl, Northern, Be Gay, thank you for the 5x5. Cherokee Survival, I am going to do a video on that. Yes, but there was a young black inventor who turned plastic waste into fuel to run in cars, and apparently he's been missing for 2 weeks now. King Appalachia, thank you for the 5x5. Lori, Brian, thank you for the 5x5. All right, this video is taking forever to upload. Not sure why. Maybe because of everything I got going on. Let's try it again and see if it'll work. Guess it's a long video, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'll show you guys the shorter one. That could be the problem. Sometimes, and then Sarita just said they found the missing guy. Is he alive? He's okay, from what I'm hearing. He's in hiding he's in hiding with, okay, got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, there goes that video. The what you call it is done. Okay, let's see. Show it in Finder. Let's see if I can pull this without fucking my live stream. All right. Now this is one of them. The water pulled out, and that's why the boats are sitting there as they are. And now it's coming back in. Though it looks... The guy was pulling on something. And then the guy goes off running. Your one job as a cameraman is to keep the camera still. But it looks like he got caught in the water. Oh, he definitely got caught in the water. All right. Right? So that was one video. It looked kind of weird. So again, I take what I see online now with a grain of salt. And then here's another one. I don't know, guys, if this is going to be a problem in, because I got demonetized for showing a video of something dumb on one of my videos a couple weeks ago. And someone said, okay, is that an old video? All right, that's an old video. All right, so then what about this one that I'm going to show you guys? Let me know. Is this an old video? That's an old video. Cajun said that was an old video. I've seen this video before. All right. I told you that at Angry Pepper. They said it's an old video. Okay, what about this video? GoPro helmet. That's an old video, I swear. All right. Again, that's why I said that's why I gave it a disclaimer in the beginning, because I wasn't sure. And the problem is, I've seen them put videos. All right, that was pretty much it for that video, as you can see. But again, I don't know if that one, new one. Okay, Jeep Girl said that's a new one. All right, so the first one is old, according to a lot of people on here, and this is the new one. New, first, new to me. All right, very good. Thank you, guys. Again, I just uploaded what I saw on Twitter. And yes, I still call it Twitter. There is actually another video, but it's the shoreline. There's nothing really to base it off of. that second video I showed you was a good base because you saw the destruction. Now let's see if we see anything in Japan, California, what is it, and Alaska. Let's see if we see anything out of that. Though, if it happens now, it's going to be happening at night in those places, right? So, listen, that's going to suck. Now, I don't want this video to be too long. Sorry, this live stream to be too long. But yes, I did get demonetized. Let me show you not show you, but let me get the video that I got demonetized for, which was crazy. Oh, is America facing a new nightmare? Believe it or not, I got demonetized on that one. And because I put a video in there of the tsunami, of the time lapse of what happened in Texas, because I had the time lapse, I guess that was too violent. It didn't show any destruction, but nonetheless, it seems like YouTube is becoming more vaginosis-like, and so they're demonetizing videos. So this one might get demonetized. Again, if it is, not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It could be a lot worse. They could, they've been demonetizing shit left and right, by the way. So there is that. But yeah, I thank you for also, guys. Thank you for letting me know what's old and what's not. I did. It will hit California at 1 a.m. Okay. Laura said lots of people posted that video. Posted the old one, Laura. Again, thank you for letting me know. And again, that's how they get people, right? I did a disclaimer because the first one, I was like, I wasn't sure, just based on the way it looked. The second one, I wasn't sure either because I know that they show a lot of videos of tsunamis or swells, if you will, and just a lot of shit. And people are like, oh, that's a new one. Like, somebody got attacked, or there was a fight, and they tried to label an old fight video as a new fight video. Carnival Cruise. There was like a Carnival Cruise incident. They were trying to say that one was new and the other, and meanwhile it was like 10 years old. So, and again, that's misinformation now. AI is not even in the mix, man. AI is not even in the mix, and people are putting this shit out there. So when AI gets in the mix, forget about it. So what I meant, what could possibly, thank you, Marshall. What I was talking about, what could happen to everybody, was can everybody be psychologically unsound or going crazy? There is a new theory that entered the arena. The new theory is that the technology today is scrambling our brain signals, causing a lot of psychological issues. I will almost subscribe to that. I will almost buy that. So the reason why I'm going to buy that, along with the arm ticket, I think the arm ticket is definitely compounding a lot of situations as far as health goes and psychosis. But there was research back during World War II, and they were using infrared to scramble people's brains, to make them confused. So was it World War II or was it Vietnam? I think it was World War II. When guys were finding devices in the water that can go boom, they were dismantling them. And when they were dismantling them, apparently the Germans were sending infrared signals, and it had to be direct. It was a line of sight thing. It wasn't like you could hide behind something with infrared. If you were in line of sight, they can get you. They can infrared this beam to your head, causing you to get drowsy, pass out, or suffer psychological emergencies. And as you were dismantling the bomb, as you were falling asleep, you would hit the wrong wire and kablooey, you went. And apparently that happened once or twice, but it was not talked about widely. So when bomb experts talked about this, and when device experts talked about this, they talked about the Germans, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe the Chinese using infrared. I think it was the Germans using infrared to cause this problem. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, are we all eventually going to go there? I think a lot of people are. I think with the arm ticket being on board, I think whatever signal they're sending out could be a problem. Full Spectrum Survival just went live about the tsunami. Of course he did. Of course he did. I'll go live with the tsunami if it happens. If it happens 2 in the morning and I get a heads up call or a text message or an email, I'll go live about it. I'll look for live footage and then try to go live with the live footage as it goes down. But yeah, guys. So there's definitely an increase in psychological emergency. Definitely, there are people that are here in New York City. People seem to think that you can do whatever you want as long as you're not harming somebody else. And there are men, more men, dressing up like women, cross-dressing, excuse me, and not transgender, cross-dressing. And they're going online and displaying their art. There's a psychological problem with that. There are a lot of people who are doing weird shit and disguising it as me being who me kind of bullshit. And they talked about right, Kool-Aid. Thank you for that. The Havana syndrome. Now the Havana syndrome is in relation to Cuba, but the Havana syndrome is an old tactic that was used again as far back as World War II. Right, so. Yes, we know that YouTube is owned by Google. They let you see what they want. But anyway, that being said, guys, there's been people like a husband and wife that were knifed or offed in a national park, leaving the child behind. And the guy got in the car and drove away. And the attack was pretty much unprovoked. At least he didn't touch the kid, but not sure. 11 people in a Walmart were apparently jabbed, if you will. And then 2 people were head stomped at some point, and then there were 2 mass shootings. There was one out west, and then there was one here in New York City. And that was yesterday. That was all yesterday. Then you had a guy that, I don't know how I can say this without getting red flagged, but there was a guy that destroyed his kid's skull, newborn, and then went outside to smoke a cigarette. There are people that are sane looking and offing their kids for no reason. Like the guy that drowned his 9-year-old daughter. He lived in Canada. They went to Lake George for a vacation. Everything seemed okay. And he wound up going to the police saying that someone took his kid. The cops didn't buy it from Jump Street. And then they found the kid's body a couple hours later. And there it was. Yes, Laura, 2 people were head stomped. I'm not sure if that was a Walmart incident or another incident, a new incident, but yes, 2 people were also. And head stomping is a really violent move. Like that's like 2 white victims beaten by a mob in Cincinnati. If I'm not mistaken, that is the footage I've been seeing on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, okay. Disturbing video shows woman knocked out cold by, and stomped on, and a man's head was stomped on as well. I did see a video of that, and of course, the crowd was jeering, and it was a street brawl, or whatever the fuck it was. It wasn't good. And it was unprovoked, if I'm not mistaken. I think the white guy was being picked on. He tried to defend the girl, and then they beat him up. Yeah, this was in Cincinnati. I did see that. Again, guys, a lot of that is going on. A lot more violence is increasing. In fact, the movie The Running Man was a catalyst for an article, I think 5 or 10 years after the movie The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they talked about how violence would increase over time because man is becoming violent. That was an article almost 30 years ago. How old am I? 30? Yeah, over 30 years ago, excuse me. And they talked about that, and they used Running Man as a reference to that violence, and that we would see TV shows like that in the future. We have seen TV shows close to that, but not as violent as that. Again, we're seeing way more people and way more acts of horrendousness going on. Not to mention the fact that society today is cheering people on to not have kids. And our society is toast. The Muslim and Jew society is going to win the battle. The Muslims are definitely going to win. And American society is gone. If people do not start having kids, if they do not start picking up the slack, we are past that point of no return from what I've been reading. These people that are about societies and how societies live and strive, they talked about the United States, the UK are already behind the curve. That the Muslim communities that are flourishing everywhere around the world, their birth rate is like 4 point something. And I think the birth rate for the threshold is below 2.8 or 2.3. The United States, if I'm not mistaken, is at 1.3 or 1.4. We're already behind the curve. And we can correct it, but it will take time. But society today, at least the American society, is cheering people on for not having kids. There was an article I saw the other day. I was really annoyed. It's not an article, but it was a study that was done. Women in their 40s are less likely to have kids or are happy with not having kids. We're behind the curve. And these women are not going to be happy when they're in their 50s and 60s and they watch the culture steamroll over them, the Muslims' culture steamroll over them like you wouldn't believe. Tony says, sorry, Jesus will win. It'll be a battle, but Jesus is not going to be winning anytime soon. Not with this shit that's going on with the Muslim community. I subscribe to the Bible. I will believe a lot of the stuff in the Bible, but the Bible is not going to win against what is going on in the world. And I'm sorry, it just isn't. There's a security force in Brooklyn right now with Muslims running it, with a car that looks like NYPD. Dearborn, Michigan is gone. Philly is all but gone. I'm sorry, but if Jesus is going to step in, I think now would be the time. You can't subscribe yourself to a man that is supposedly coming back when we're watching what's going on in real time. Google censorship, we are your enemy because you make... Really? Because the shit that I'm watching Muslims do, they're making themselves the enemy. Dearborn, Michigan is making themselves the enemy. Nobody is actively going out their way to make them the enemy. They are doing shit and, for example, praying in the middle of the street and stopping traffic. That is making yourself our enemy. You got mosque as far as the eye can see in Philly, and you're in the middle of the street praying. They have mosque in the Bronx and Brooklyn, and they're still in the middle of the street praying, holding up traffic. That is making people... You are telling everybody to go fuck themselves. They are making themselves the enemy. Google censorship. So please, with the fucking Islam is good bullshit. They are not. They are fucking inconsiderate prick people is what they are. They're not... Listen, you want to consider everybody else's feeling? Keep your bullshit off the street. Go back in the mosque and pray. Jesus will win, but not by earthly means. Jesus is the opposite of Christianity. I don't want to hear the overflow bullshit. Then have time, but don't start blocking streets and keeping people from going to work. Oh, God, he said you used to close stores on Sunday. You cannot... One has nothing to do with the other. Closing a store has nothing to do with blocking the street. That's apples and oranges, man. That's fail. And watching Muslims treat their women a certain way, I was in EMS. I watched them treat their women like shit. I watched Muslims do shit like honor killings. Stop the bullshit. Stop trying to make a peaceful... As far as I'm concerned, Christianity does not have honor killings. And if you try to do the honor killing shit, you go to jail. Stop. In England, they had an honor killing that was widely shown on TV. And if I'm not mistaken, the father got away with it because it was his culture. They're not getting away with it here in the United States, but lawyers keep pushing in it as their culture. Get the fuck bent. Anyway, this is yelling at each other. We probably are yelling at each other. Fucking, you're typing in all caps, and I'm yelling at you on it. It's pretty gay. But yeah, listen, blocking the streets is bullshit. I'm sorry. And Muslims are very fucking inconsiderate people. Very inconsiderate. So are Jews. Very inconsiderate people. It's all about them. Them and my people. This whole, like, that chick that was talking about Sarah, whatever her name is, that was talking about there was going to be this attack on the United States because it was going to be Muslim people. She's a fucking plant. Muslims found another way to attack us, and that's taking over the country slowly from within. Not going out in the street and doing what they're doing, and not the bullshit propaganda that they're pushing. They have another tactic, and that's coming from within. That is outdoing our birthing rate, starting a family here, outpacing us birth-wise, and then taking over the country from within. That's how they're doing it. They're not doing it any other fucking way. They're not fucking, strapping anything under their chest and yelling Allah walk. They're not doing any of that shit anymore. They're doing it from within. That's how you know it's propaganda. I'm not agreeing with any of them. I'm just saying, Sarah, whatever the fuck her name is, she's an asshole. She's a fucking industry plant. That bitch could suck a dick sideways too. Anyway, with that being said, and all the dick sucking I just mentioned, I'm going to go off the air now. I got some videos to edit, and then I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired. I just want to lay down for a little bit. I want to lay down and do absolutely nothing. Nothing. Sarah Adams, thank you. Yes, is a psychops. Fuck that bitch. So fucking sitting there acting like she's a cool chick. You're part of the fucking problem, lady. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go off the air. I will see you for the doubleheader tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I should have a midweek report tomorrow. Jason, did you get a date yet? What date, Falcon? My retirement date? No. But I'm not sure what date you're talking about. But leave a comment in the comment section if you have the question. I'll see it there. All right? Thank you, guys.